Hi tribe, welcome back to Open Therapy. This is episode 17. Yes. This is a nighttime shot. I'm showing you my cute little set. Let me put you guys up. Hi everybody, welcome back. Almost didn't make it. This is a nighttime clip on Thursday. I just had a shower and I'm now getting cozy. So yeah, we're just doing a little wind down with each other. How was your week? I hope you had a good week. What's happened in my week since the last time we spoke? Oh, and we didn't do a camera, face to camera chat last week's episode. So yeah, there might be some stuff that has happened. Oh, well, you may have just seen that we took a little trip. Well, I took a little trip to go celebrate a good friend of mine, her 40th birthday. So just had a little weekend, fly out and back. I left like a Friday, came back on Sunday morning. It was really, really quick. But just the best time. Met the best people ever. And yeah, it was good. It was a good time. I know she had fun. And I really wanted to be there. So I am happy that I made it, and I'm happy that I got to witness her in her joy and in celebration. Yeah. What's this episode about, guys? I think this is just gonna be like a mashup of what I've been thinking about this week. And I've been kind of thinking about the question, what are we under or like roles? Like there's this little thing that I used to have up in my workspace at work when I used to actually do the whole decorative space thing. After COVID, and I went home and came back, my cubicle is very sterile. You would not even know which desk is mine. That's very connected to home thinking. Anyway, so I used to have this thing up, and it used to be like, who are you without the title? So without mother, without your work title, what are some other roles that can like really take over your life? I guess, yeah, parent, your work title, daughter, aunt, sibling. Yeah, I mean, all of these things make up a part of who you are, but I think there's like an underlying you know what I mean? When it's just you in your bed in the dark, lying down at night, who is that person? And is the inner voice that you hear, is that the person, or is that something else? You know what I mean? Because sometimes that inner voice be talking shit and gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Anxious people like me know what I'm talking about. So I don't even know who wants to the inner voice, but just there's an underlying person to be. You know what I mean? That's not doing. I'm so interested in finding out who that person is for people. And I've been kind of like going through trying to find out who that person is for myself. And hopefully this will encourage you to think about this for yourself as well, you know? That's something I think about a lot. I don't know. I guess because my professional role has been quite different than who I know myself to be. I think that might be why I think about it a lot. And then I kind of realized when I became a mother, definitely for the first year, it's really hard when you become a parent to really think about anything else but your child and what's happening. For the first few years, I think I was super focused, but I was also very aware of it as well. So I took time here and there to really connect with Kai, just to make sure I didn't lose my relationship or connection with myself. That was very important to me as well. So like when I think about Kai, not in a professional way, not in a mom way, not in a performative way, just being and not really doing. I think the things that come to mind are like dreamer. I think I'm a dreamer at heart. I think I used to hear that as a child. I was really, really. There's one aunt. I don't want to make it as general, but her experience with me was that I was just really smiley and really friendly, and I would always come up to her and give her like the biggest hugs. And there's a part of me that really thinks that part of me. Sometimes I see it come out now and then, who is kind of really innocent and loving and trusting and maybe a little naive and hopeful in other human beings, you know what I mean? But you know, we've already spoke about in previous episodes how the world has harmed me, so I'm not as trusting, and I get that my discernment is gone up a couple notches, so I know, you know, or I think I know who to trust and who not to trust now and stuff. So not as open as I used to be, but I think the underlying Kai is very open, very loving, very trusting. I think I feel the most me when I'm creating something. Yeah. Sometimes at work, because I have to prepare documents and write things, and you know, in the role that I'm in now, you know, it became very clear very early that nobody cares what I think in what I'm producing. I produce a first draft, maybe a second, maybe a third, but it goes up to a draft 7. And the people who write draft 6 and 7, their opinion and their outlook and their ideas are the only ones that matter. So, yeah, I think that's what leads me to become so disconnected from the work that I'm doing. Even when it just moves up to a level and it gets marked up and X'd out and put into somebody else's voice immediately, it's just like, well, my voice doesn't matter. This is what this is communicating to me in the type of work that I'm doing, because it's policy, you know what I mean? And it's policy and assessment, and I write documents for executive management, and so what I may be thinking, who cares what I'm thinking? They have had like 10,000 conversations that don't involve me, where they're just like, okay, this is cool, we can work with this, but you remember when we were saying such? Oh yeah, John, I remember we did such. And so like 2 of my big paragraphs them just get exiled because, like, you understand? I wasn't there. So it's hard for me to feel connected to that. So I think I feel the most myself when I am creating something and there's no other hands involved. It's just me, and I can just kind of I think that's why several mediums of self-expression has been so meaningful in my life, because it allows me to just kind of put out unaltered content like this. This is another medium. I come up with what I'm discussing on the video. I prepare a structure. I reach out to guests. I get turned down by guests constantly. That's the part of it I don't love, but I have to keep reaching out, because the whole point of having this medium, I mean, it's not the only point, but a big point of it is to have conversations with other people. So I will reach out to people who I've just had good conversations with in the past and who I feel that type of energy with. I'll continue to reach out to them. Some of them are just not up for public discussions, and I get that, you know what I mean? So yeah, some days it's just gonna be me talking to you, try, because besties, right? So yeah, dreamer, creative, and I am very like process oriented in the way I'm thinking. So um yeah, just thinking processes. Everything is a process. I guess that's very routine, possibly. But even when things aren't in processes, I put them into processes. It just helps me navigate life and navigate tasks, and it helps me to move along with anything that I'm doing. It just how my brain kind of works things out. And I'm very also huge believer in spectrum thinking, fluidity in several things. So when I think about Kai, without even that name, if I was sitting and I had to remove even my name, even along with the different roles, I actually feel like I would be genderless, which is a concept that I explored in a photography class several years ago in college. I did a whole project that was just called Androgynous. I learned after submitting that project what androgyny actually was. So the original name of it was genderless. I guess that's still the name of it. But after I presented it in my class to my teachers and my other photography classmates, so I was like explaining, yeah, so I feel like this is like genderless, and they're like, huh? I was like, yeah, like without gender, and like the whole project was just my face. So I had over 20. Maybe the entire thing that I took was over 20 shots, but I think I presented maybe like 8 out of the 20, and it was just my face with different lighting and stuff. And when I looked at it, I didn't see gender. And yeah, it was interesting. They're like, oh, androgyny. And I was like, okay. What's that? And I was like looking it up, and then I started just feeling so connected with that term. So I definitely feel I feel like that applies to me without the performance and without the roles and without even my name. I'm not sure if there's a gender side to me. But also, I'm very girly at heart. But I tend to present a little bit more of my masculine energy. I think we have both feminine and masculine energy in us. I definitely have both. I think everyone does. But some people embrace more of one than the other. And I tend to just embrace whatever comes up for me. So I definitely feel girly inside here, and I like girly things. Sometimes I try it and I'm just like, this does not feel right. I don't like how it look on me. Or it feels when I look in the mirror, I'm like, I don't know. I thought that would have been cute, but I don't know what that is. I'll talk to my therapist. But so girly at heart, a little bit more rugged, thug life on the outside of how I present and show up in the world. Spectrum thinking also, in terms of sexuality, there's so many different spectrums, and I think in terms of processes and in terms of spectrums as well, you know what I mean? So there are ends and there are people on different points through the end in the world, through the line in the world, and so I tend to kind of think of myself like that. And so, who I am without all of the known jazz is a lot of these spectrums, I mean, you can spectrum anything. You spectrum gender, you can spectrum sexuality. I think sexuality and gender is fluid and spectrum based, and so if this is heterosexuality and this is homosexuality, people are at different points throughout it, and maybe you are right here on the brim of heterosexuality, and maybe that's your experience and your understanding, and so you can't really understand the other people that were at different points, which is fine. That's okay too. That's a perspective. And maybe somebody's all the way over here and they're just like, well, stop forgetting that this exists. It's not the end, you know what I mean? But maybe it's a good time to put things like that out there. So you know who I am, and if you don't resonate with who I am, it's cool to be like, try to listen to your content, but it's not really who I am. And that's cool. I'm trying to form a community and a niche of, you don't have to agree with everything I say, but at least have a general understanding and respect for my point of view, and we can talk and have a conversation. Come on, open therapy and let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and unfortunately, below every role, if I was just sitting nameless and without any of these roles, I would be a socially anxious human being. Yeah. My social battery is just, it's on some crazy stuff. So I went up for the weekend that you saw in the opening to celebrate my friend, and I've been processing because that's what I do, process oriented processing. And yeah, I thought the weekend was beautiful. I thought it was amazing. I met amazing people, and yeah, I was worried because I took some social anxiety and my social battery. Sometimes it just depends what I arrive with. You know what I mean? Sometimes I arrive with 20%, sometimes I arrive with 50, sometimes I arrive with 100, and it depends on how the day go and where my mind space at and the capacity. We don't really know how it's gonna go. You understand? So I don't know. I loved it. Loved everybody there. It was a cool vibe. The actual event for her birthday was a little bit longer than my social battery permitted. Yeah, man. So after about 4 hours, my social battery just. And I pushed what I shouldn't have done was I pushed myself for an hour after that. So in the last hour, like 1 million people were asking me, like, yeah, right? Oh, you good? Like, people were concerned. I was like, Jesus, I need to just go. Because I can feel that people are getting uncomfortable with, I guess how I'm showing up. Because I get really quiet and anxious and normally at that time, I like to be in a corner in the dark, holding a meds, having a drink. When I used to smoke, having to smoke something just to whatever, or the best is to just slip away. Tell a few people, yeah, that's my head out. And that's why I drive myself to these things, and then I just slip away at that time. That's my MO for sure. But in this case, I could not slip away. I was staying at a place where the event was kept, so I was just trying to push through, man. I pushed through as far as I could, and then when excitement was going on, I was just like, yeah, I think this is my time to head out, which I did. And so the next morning I came down, and I was like, oh, how am I going to explain it to these people who I just met that I'm completely strange and my social battery died, and they're going to be like, what? Halfway party, yeah. But luckily they were all asleep and they're all really kind. So yeah. If any of them happens to find this video, love you, and it was a great weekend. Yeah, my social battery just died. So I did say to my friend that was like, yo, I'm like hoping she's understanding, but we're not party friends, so I don't know if she will know. Say me did it for 2 hours and slip out, touch people on them shoulder and slip out. I don't know if she know that part of me. So yeah, but anyway, when I came down, I was like, I just said really quickly, yeah, my social battery died. I gave her a tight squeeze before I left, which was my way of saying, listen, I tried and I love you. But all in all, even with that, I mean, yeah, I just went to capacity, but the time that I was there was fantastic. It was beautiful. Everything was on point. The weekend was beautiful. So if we sum all of that up, if you just take away my face, take away my name, take away my professional title, take away all my other connections, and sit me on a stoop, I have no gender. You can't tell what gender I am. I am creating something through whatever medium I choose at the time. I'm also dreaming while creating and speaking about these dreams. I am probably in a corner because I took some social anxiety, and I am definitely trying to put make sense of the world around me and putting everything into a process. And looking around at you and seeing where we fall on the spectrum. Yeah. Yo, I even did 2 ASD tests because I'm like, yo, with the social thing and the, you know what I mean, some like things, man. I say, hold on, am I on the spectrum, like the autism spectrum? Let me check this out. I did the test once, it said no. A couple years passed, I did it again, and it still I said no. I said, all right. I'm still not sold. I even had a conversation with my daughter about it recently. I was like, yo, I think I might. And she's like, why would you think that? And I was like explaining certain like things, and then I was saying to her, like, do you ever feel like you were? And she's like, no, but should I? And then she was like, look it up. So listen, I don't see anything. If that's what it is, and you feel different from other people in certain things, but it could just be that I'm anxious and an introvert, yeah, and weird. And she's also anxious, poor baby. I don't think she's as much of an introvert as I am. So yeah, it could just be that, you know. So yeah, so this was my quick think out loud wind down video with you to go to my bed on a Thursday night. Hopefully I'm not sweating profusely in this footage. I think I'm gonna try these today while I edit this video for you guys. It's like an under eye patch with vitamin C and collagen. Clearly I'm obsessed with vitamin C. What you saw me putting on earlier, vitamin C. And this is what I used to take off my makeup earlier because my makeup wipes are done. And then I'm gonna try this thing and call it a night. So I hope you had a good week. I hope this encourages you to think about, is that where you put it? I think so. I'm gonna look crazy ending out this video. Should have done this after. I hope this encourages you to think about who you are underneath your roles. If you even know, and if you don't know, that's okay. Maybe you need some time to like reflect and think about it. I wish we could actually all gather in one room and talk about it. That'd be cool. But yeah, if you're here this far in the video, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I hope you love me because I love you. And I will see you next week on Open Therapy.